Hide your girlfriends and your wives. I am live. And by the way, Mama's Geeky, you are fine. Hello and welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Smash the like button if you love me. Subscribe if you're new. Please have your say. A very warm welcome to Monday Night Live with Mick. Yes, The Rock had big plans. For DC, we were going to get a Black Adam versus Superman movie, The Rock, starring Henry Cavill. He was a China release away from that. We were a China release away from Wonder Woman, Superman, Michael Keaton's Batman, Sasha Calle's Superman, all outside that courthouse at the end of The Flash. Instead, we got George Clooney. And here's another thing for you. James Gunn, as we know, has announced that Blue Beetle is the first entry to the new DC universe. If that movie fails, what does that mean for the future of interconnected franchises over at DC? Because we all know this was an ill-conceived idea. If I was them, they could still change their minds. Make Swamp Thing an Elseworld movie. Make Superman Legacy an Elseworld movie written and directed by Peter Jackson. Do it now before it's too late. Bobcat, hey Mickey, good evening Bobcat. How are you doing? Have you got over watching The Flash yet? Have you gone for a second helping? Have you changed your mind about the movie? The movie is a bomb, a box office bomb. Black Adam had a higher opening. Black Adam, as I say, was a China release away from getting a sequel. Now, isn't it interesting that Black Adam flopped, which basically saw the result of Henry Cavill and The Rock being fired, but basically The Flash is a catastrophe in its presentation and its box office, and the director gets his 30 pieces of silver. A brave and a bold movie, a Batman movie. It's very interesting how things have worked out. Of course, he's been a good soldier. He said working with Ezra Miller was the highlight of his career. I mean, you couldn't fucking make it up, could you? Bobcat, yeah, I'm absolutely not going to see it a second time. And I'll usually see superhero movies twice. Yeah, I've seen it once, so I won't be going back for more. Probably get a digital copy, maybe get a physical, just for collection. John Haymick, I just saw the Craven and the Hunter trailer. Very good trailer. Loved it. An even better poster. I love these Sony movies, yes. I'm all for Sony Marvel, but basically Disney Marvel can sit on it. Load of crap. I want every Sony Marvel movie to make money, and I want every Disney Marvel movie to flop, because Disney are a bad company and Sony are not. Across the Spider-Verse. And I'll tell you something else for nothing. Was it the best of ideas to release the Flash movie in the same month as Across the Spider-Verse? One multiverse movie is compelling, brilliant, making lots of money, nearly 500 million at the global box office, while the Flash movie is sinking quicker than the Titanic. Bobcat, the fact that he gets to direct the new Batman movie annoys me as a Batman fan. And this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, the Black Adam director directed a better movie. But he's gone. The Rock's gone. The Rock, as I say, had big plans. This is why he wanted to incinerate the Hamadaverse. That's why he didn't want to cross over with Shazam. Do you remember how Levi threw The Rock under the bus? Who do you think told him to do that? Bobcat. The Craven the Hunter trailer was really cool. I just really hope they don't mess up Rhino. Rewind the times, I'd rather have gone with The Rock easily. Yes, he had big plans. I mean, just the fact that we're going to get a Black Adam Superman movie was going to be amazing. Rewind the times. Craven the Hunter looks terrible. I think it looks amazing. But all the people hating on the Craven the Hunter movie were also saying The Flash is the bestest movie ever. The best movie since The Great Dictator. The best movie since The Godfather. The best movie since The Dark Knight. Well, it's not, is it? I'd rather watch Craven the Hunter and Rhino than what we got to see. I don't want to see George Clooney's Batman. All right, Bobcat, The Rock's approach actually sounds really cool. Yeah, he had big plans. Adby and DeLuca and The Rock. We're going to have Wonder Woman, Superman, Keaton's Batman, Calais Supergirl, all at the end of that Flash movie. James Gunn said, nah, that's a bit too exciting. Let's have George Clooney. That'll be fun, right? John Craven the Hunter looks like it's going to be rated R. I hope so. That'd be cool. But I'm looking forward to that one. I don't know much about the character. I didn't even know Rhino was going to be in the movie. Do you remember the last time we saw Rhino? Let's hope it's not like that, right? But yes, very exciting. As I say, I know nothing about the character. I'm not a Marvel guy, but I'm excited for it. So the calamity goes on. James Gunn trying to distract our attention with audition calls for Superman Legacy. But as I say, if Blue Beetle, a movie they're claiming is the first entry point to the DC universe, even though it wasn't made to be an entry point to the DC universe, it was supposed to be part of the new DCEU timeline. So it makes little sense. I wonder if they've done reshoots. I wonder if they've done rewrites for that movie. According to Ronnie Dodge, they're doing more reshoots for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. You couldn't make it up, could you, John? And next year we have got Venom 3. Very, very exciting. I like the Venom movies. I like the relationship between Venom and Tom Hardy's character. Very good, very good. I think they're good films. I really do enjoy them. I think they're cool. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Black Adam didn't get a China release, but The Flash did. And it really hasn't helped it out. I mean, the movie is just not getting any love from anywhere around the world. Rewind the times. Craven is a bad guy, not an animal activist. Yes, I know. I'm afraid once Hollywood get their hands on something, they have to put their politics. And unfortunately, there's nothing wrong with being an animal activist, but the problem is it's the way they bash you over the head with the mallet with it. Bobcat, James Gunn never should have endorsed The Flash. Yeah, well, he endorsed The Flash, but not in the cringy way Zaslav endorsed The Flash, the best superhero movie he's ever seen. As I said when I first heard it, must be the only superhero movie he's ever seen. I was aware of The Flash. I knew what kind of film it was. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was the best thing since The Dark Knight. But of course he should never, none of them should have endorsed it. Stephen King only endorsed it because he's worked with Andy Muschietti on the It adaptions. Tom Cruise wanted WB to hand over some IMAX screenings. That's why he lied about liking the movie. Hello, Mick, have you seen all the panic from the Shields who co-signed the movie like it was the second coming? Every excuse under the sun. Pathetic cockroaches. Absolutely, Cal. It's really funny seeing them panic because I don't know if they thought their influence is so strong that they were going to get away with their lies. Let me tell you something. Even if they had the Pied Piper's flute, they would have no influence. They've got no influence, right? They're getting freebies. They're getting access. What for? They're not even doing their jobs properly because they failed WB as well. Bob, I feel like it makes people a little weary about Gunn if that's what he thinks is a great DC movie. Well, he doesn't think it's a great DC movie. He's a liar. He's been caught in lies many, many times. It's not about his quality as a writer-director. He's a good writer-director, but he's also not Coppola or Scorsese, like some people think, but we will see. But if Blue Beetle fails, then that tells them that people don't want an interconnected universe. They want Elseworld stories. They want standalone stories, standalone trilogies. And I'd be very, very interested to see. Also, let's not forget, Superman Returns had a sequel planned. Writer's strike finished. That movie wasn't happening. Could it happen again? Rewind the times. The Rock loves Snyder's vision. He wanted to continue that world. No way Gunn's vision will be fulfilled. Bobcat, if Superman Legacy fails, then what are they going to do? Panic. it's not too late to just basically just do, embrace the Matt Reeves stuff, embrace the Phillips stuff, bring in more auteurs to give their own takes to these movies. That's what they should be doing. This interconnected crap is not going to work. Marvel got lucky for a short time. It doesn't work anymore. It's not what people want to see. Rewind the times. Gunn has me scared for DC's future. Well, as I say, in the side of Todd Phillips, in the side of Matt Reeves, DC's not damaged at all. But I think the message is loud and clear here that these interconnected cookie cutter movies are simply not going to work. They're not going to attract the fan base. Bobcat, they should make separate artistic takes. I agree, like the Batman and Joker. Yes, those movies have got excitement, a lot of excitement. These cookie cutter movies don't, but it was still dumb to release the Flash movie during Across the Spider-Verse. That was a very dumb decision. That's where people are going. That's where kids and families are going to watch. They're not going to watch a movie starring a rabid criminal. They're going to watch something wholesome and sweet and exciting like Across the Spider-Verse. But don't expect these people to have any logic in their thinking. They keep on showing how dumb and how stupid they are. And this is such an embarrassing result for them. And there's no excuses. I keep on reading on Twitter, I don't care. It's a great movie. It's not a great movie. It's all right in places. It is not a great movie. The movie has many, many problems. It's an unfinished, badly edited, poorly executed VFX movie like AI made it or something. So, you can keep on shilling it. You can keep on telling me this and that. There's no way of escaping the situation, but it's worse for them because they told us it was something extremely special and it never was. Bobcat, I have a slightly nervous feeling about Superman Legacy. I have to be open-minded. I can't judge anything until I've seen it. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting time. As I say, Blue Beetle, if that doesn't make the money, because I don't see who's coming in to see that film. I don't see who they're going to attract. It's a very interesting situation. They think it's as easy as saying, well, there's no competition. It doesn't mean anything. Kal-El, Gunn is not liked by DC fans. This is a major factor. He came in like a ball in a china shop. He did. He removed Cavill. He destroyed Ayers, Suicide Squad cast. He disrespected the league in Peacemaker. Yeah, I don't really understand why he did the Justice League cameos. I think the idea was to explain why they're not there and to say, oh, you're too late. And to basically big up his own team of characters. It didn't end up very well for him, and people didn't like what he did. And the jokes towards Superman, the jokes towards Aquaman, people didn't appreciate that. They don't appreciate his humor. It's going to be interesting. Kal-El, Gunn's approach is not how you earn trust. Well, he's argued with fans. He's fallen out with people. He doesn't know how to take the higher ground. That's a problem as well. He shouldn't be getting into arguments with people. He shouldn't be saying your mum's chucked you out of your home and nonsense like that. It just shows ego. It shows ego. And if you can't take the pressure now, James, just wait until people have seen your movie. Wait till you cast your Superman. Then you're going to know real pressure. If you can't handle the pressure, if you can't take the heat, stay out the kitchen. What did you think was going to happen? Did you think it was going to be easy? I'm James Gunn and everyone was going to get on their knees and kiss your feet. That's not how life works. You have come in to do a very, very difficult gig. And some of the decision-making is really odd. John, why do you think The Flash really flopped? I've been speaking about this a lot, John. I've just mentioned it a couple of times. Releasing in the same month as Across the Spider-Verse was ill-conceived. Both multiversal movies, one done right, Across the Spider-Verse, and one done badly. I explained today there's lots of better ways of doing those cameos, not of dead cameos, but of existing actors. And what you have the Flash. He's running on one Earth to the other, actually on those different Earths. He's running past Tom Welling in Smallville. He's running here. He's interacting with people. That is just cheap and lazy what they did. And it was just like, it was weird. It was just a weird way of doing it in the first place. He could have actually interacted with Nicolas Cage's Superman on the guy's actual Earth. But they don't really get it. But Nicolas Cage was CGI. He was never there. Bobcat, I feel like The Haircut might be the best Suicide Squad movie, and that's why Gunn won't release it. Yeah, look, they said to Air, be the good boy, be the good soldier, big us up, and yeah, we'll help you out. But it doesn't look like it's happening. I don't believe Gunn will ever allow The Haircut to be released. Kal-El, the reason why every DC film has flopped is because fans want the Snyderverse story to be complete. That's the elephant in the room. Well, to be fair, not all the DC films are flopping, my friend. Obviously, the Elseworld, the Joker, the Batman movies are very popular. They're making money. People wanting the Snyderverse are not going to stop those movies from succeeding. I think it's deeper. I don't think it's not just about the Snyderverse, by the way. I think there's a message there that people don't want these movies. People don't want interconnected cookie cutter movies. I think that's the truth. I think that Zack's at Netflix. There's no signs that they want him to restore the Snyderverse. It's not something that's about to happen, no matter how many interconnected cookie cutter movies fail. Bobcat, that sucks because The Haircut actually seems incredible. Well, I do know a few people that have actually seen it. David Ayer has allowed some supportive people to see it, not me, and it sounds like it's really, really good. I'd love to see it, a film with no radio music, a symphonic score, which is the way I like my films to have music. Bobcat, Ayer's take on Harley Quinn is better, period. Theatrical cut included. He didn't dumb Harley down like Gunn did. Yeah, listen, these kind of, what should I call them? These extreme leftists, right? They're trying to make Harley into this, anti-hero. Harley Quinn is a killer. We like her. She's fun, but she's a killer. She ain't a good person. That's as simple as that. She's got a sweet, squeaky voice and stuff, but this is a dark character. And you're going to see the difference between Gunn's take and Todd Phillips's take. Don't forget, we're getting a Harley Quinn played by Lady Gaga. So I'm very excited about this. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't like what Gunn did, but that wasn't just on Gunn. That was on Margot Robbie as well. And I know the messaging. She's a third wave feminist. When she kills that gangster, all of a sudden she cares whether kids die or not, right? And they're trying to make her into an anti-hero. Harley Quinn isn't an anti-hero. She's a murderess. She's fucked up in the head. That's why she was with the Joker. The amount of people she must have killed when she was with the Joker. All of a sudden, she's got morals. Bobcat, they try to make her a killer, but dumb her down so we forgive her for it. Exactly, because she's a woman, and it's okay when women kill. That's the point. That's the problem. This was the problem with Birds of Prey as well. Kal-El, with Arnold at Netflix exact being there, a Snyder-produced final Conan movie would be epic as fuck. It would be. I don't know if that would ever happen, but yeah. Look, to be honest with you, I've never watched the Conan movie. I love Arnie, but that's not the kind of thing that I watched. I did watch all his other movies, and it's good to see Arnie out and about making movies again. It was sad when he was a politician, whatever he was, but basically he wasn't making films anymore. But he's great, and it's great to see him back. And what he's doing on Netflix is awesome. But yeah, Snyder and Schwarzenegger together could be interesting. Bobcat, Harley Quinn is smart. She's a broken, damaged person, but she's smart. You don't underestimate Harley Quinn, because if you do, you'll usually wind up dead. Exactly. And that's the point. And, I think at the end of the day, you could try and dumb her down and the problem is he made her sympathetic. But as I say, that's not just on Gunn. But look what he did with Amanda Waller. David Ayer or Jeff Johns, whoever rewrote that original movie, the first movie, she was ruthless. Amanda Waller is a ruthless woman. So I think Even in Black Adam, they got Waller more right than they did in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. They dumped her down. They even dumped her down in Peacemaker, right? By making her a mother, you make her more sympathetic. I don't want a sympathetic Amanda Waller. That's not who she is. John, there is a lot of talk about Batman Forever on Twitter. Yes, and I'm part of that talk. It's released the Schumacher cut, and Kevin Smith, as much as I think he's a bit of a shill, is going to review the movie on his Fat Man on Batman podcast, which is very, very exciting. Bobcat, Will Smith is better than Idris Elba, in my opinion. Well, this is something else I've been wanting to talk about on my platform as well, Bobcat. The reason the past 5-6 DC movies, one of the many reasons they're failing, is because they have weak leads. We had Will Smith. That was brilliant casting by David Ayer, by the way. And I think he didn't come back for Gunn's movie out of loyalty for David Ayer. He's very close to David Ayer. He made a movie with him on Netflix, if you remember, but suddenly had scheduling problems. I don't believe that for a minute. Callow, I have loved watching all these shill YouTubers wipe the egg off their faces after The Flash. Now they're so quick to put Ezra in the dirt and blame Snyder for casting him, lol. Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, there was no problem with Ezra Miller while Zack Snyder was with him. And I believe if Ezra went to stay with Deb and Zack now, I think that would be the best thing for them. But, you know, there was no problem with Ezra when Zack cast them. So I don't really, at the end of the day, that's the Miller situation is a little reason why that movie failed, not a big one. Kal-El, there'll be no more excuses when Legacy bombs. Blue Beetle Animator, good night, sweet dreams. Make sure the bed bugs don't bite. This is Movies TV Mad. This is Monday Night Live with Mick. Put away your women, put away your wives, put away your girlfriend. And Mama's Geeky is fine. She's a shill, but she's a fine shill. Bobcat, they should release the haircut under the Elseworlds banner. That would be great, but they could do that at any time. And I mean, the blag they're using is, let us set up our universe first before we do that. That's what David Ayer's been saying as well. And I'm not buying it. That's bullshit. There's no reason why you can't release that film. But they know if they release that film, there's going to be new calls to restore the Snyderverse. That's another problem as well. Bobcat, Gunn won't do that, though, because it's probably threatening to him. Yes, it is. It is. That's the problem. So he's made false promises to David Ayer. Blue Beetle Animator, new Kraven the Hunter trailer out. Yes, I saw it. Very good. Great poster as well. I love these Sony movies. Blue Beetle Animator, it looks basic. It looks better than the Flash movie. And everyone who said the Flash movie was the next great dictator will be shitting on Kraven. But Kraven looks all right to me. I don't know. I've never read the comics. I don't know the character. But I'm going to watch it, and I can't wait to watch it. And yes, but, people who were shilling a mid-Flash movie should be shilling that as well. Kal-El, Mick Zaslav must be a coke addict because his decision-making is terrible. He plans to go head-to-head with Nolan, with Barbie, but Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible is out at the same time, lol. Yeah, it's hilarious. They're going. Look, basically, I think that's what will probably happen. That Oppenheimer and Barbie will probably kill each other, and then Tom Cruise will be climbing up the mountaintop, laughing at them. Bobcat, Killer Croc is still stupid to me, but that's the only character I really had a problem with. I didn't mind it. It wasn't something that wasn't in my attention. I didn't like it. He was there. He didn't make a great impression, but I didn't dislike him either. But I thought they had a great set of Suicide Squad characters. I really enjoyed the first Suicide Squad. Ronnie George, after a second time, I do love Flash. a lot more now. Good, good. Glad to hear it. Glad you. I mean, as I've already said, I'm not going to change my mind. It's got some good moments. It's got a lot of problems. It is not the Great Dictator. It is not the Godfather. It is not the Dark Knight. They lied. It's an okay movie, but it's not making money. Just like the previous 5 DC movies, it's going to come in really, really low. It's really embarrassing. But I am glad you enjoyed it genuinely. John, Batman Forever cut won't mess with James Gunn's plans. No, and it's got more potential in making money, John, than the haircut has. Ronnie Dodge, it's not the greatest CBM ever, but it's a fun movie. Yeah, I think this is the problem, Ronnie. I think, do audiences just want to go and see mid-fun movies? Or do they want to see the Batman? Do they want to see Joker Folie à Deux? Do they want to see Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn? Do they want to see, an Oscar winner like Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker? I think you know the answer to that question. They're not interested in interconnected movies anymore. That is gone. As I say, if I was them, I would call Peter Jackson to write and direct Superman Legacy as an Elseworld movie. I would get Swamp Thing. I wouldn't have that part as a DCU. That would be an Elseworld movie as well. They've already got a very good director tapped, writer-director, Elseworld movie. Let him do what he wants with it. Because I think one thing's for sure, the days of interconnected IPs are gone. And I don't really see anyone else doing it. The MCU's in trouble. We've seen that no one's coming in for these movies. Kal-El, The Rock is slipping to Romana with a big smile on his face. Black Adam was more successful. I wonder why. Warner Brothers Discovery threw The Rock under 2. They did. They got Zachary Levi to slaughter him and to justify the disaster that was Shazam: Fury of the Gods. There was a reason that he didn't want to cross Black Adam with Shazam. He wanted nothing to do with the Hamadaverse. John, could the Batman 2 make $1 billion? I think it will make $1 billion. I can't see why it won't make $1 billion. There's excitement there. The only reason the last movie didn't make $1 billion because it was still kind of crawling out of the pandemic era. But I think this movie will reach $1 billion at least. And it's going to be a much better movie. Not that I didn't enjoy the first movie. And this is what I want to see. I want to see auteurs giving us their own take on these characters, whether it's Snyder, Reeves, Todd Phillips, anyone who's an auteur, who's got an idea, who's got a vision on what these movies should be. Because as I say, these interconnected franchises are failing because people are not interested. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 had barely any connections to the inner MCU universe, but it succeeded more than any MCU movie. That tells you where people are today. It's dead. It's over. But Hollywood never see it until it's too late. I can give you many reasons why the Flash movie failed, but people are not interested. Of course, people know. Go on. It's a moth, sorry. But people can see that universe is dead, of course, but I don't think people are interested anymore. Bobcat, DC should hire me for a Suicide Squad movie. That would be cool. I'd definitely watch it, Bobcat. But that's where we are. This is what the statistics are showing, that people are no longer interested in connected, cookie cutter movies. It's obvious, right? They're not interested in the cameos, the Easter eggs. It's done. But people, Hollywood don't listen until it's too late. They copy each other's trends. They did it with the strongman in the 80s. They did it with the Westerns. They never stop until after the thing's not a trend anymore. And that's the problem. So they're going to carry on making these interconnected cookie cutter movies. So we'll see. We'll see what the results are. But as I say, I think a lot of things can change after that writer's strike, and if SAG-AFTRA go on strike, take industrial action, then the whole industry is at a standstill. Let's see how all this develops. No actors, no Superman Legacy. You can't even audition people. That's why He knows there's going to be an actor's strike. He's trying to get his casting done quickly. That he knew there was going to be a writer's strikes too. That's why he wrote Superman Legacy quickly. Waz 007. Hi, Mick. Good evening, Waz. Kal-El, Black Adam, a D-list character, beat the multi-million best movie ever made. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Well, there you go. There you have it. Who would have? I mean, look, in a lot of ways it was obvious, but I never thought it would fail this badly. But it went down to 70, then 60, then 50, then 55, and it's a disaster. There's no way around it. You can blame this, that, the other. You can blame a packed month full of big releases. At the end of the day, it's a Flash movie. And if you did the right things, people would have came in and watched it. But you didn't listen. But you thought you were going to make $2 billion on that movie. And that was never going to happen. Waz 007, how are you, Mick? I'm very well, thank you, Waz. Thank you for asking. Waz 007, everybody on YouTube talk about DC and the Flash. Of course, it's the latest release. It's a disaster. It's a feeding frenzy. This is what happens, Waz. This is how it works. It is an autopsy. It's a feeding frenzy. And as I say, this will carry on for the next week or so. People will forget about it. Then when Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny flops, it'll be all about that. This is how the film community, the entertainment community go on. They feast on the latest disaster or success until the next one. It's all very disposable, even the conversations. Unfortunately, we go with the trends. Bobcat, why don't we just make good original movies? Well, you better ask Hollywood that, because they're lazy. They got rid of the patriarchy, the talented people, and brought in activists instead who couldn't direct traffic, couldn't write a love letter. They're useless people, and they're all looking at each other and they don't know what to do next. That's why they have to lie about their movies. That's why they have to get influencers to lie about movies, because if they made good movies, they'd make good money. But they don't want to do that. What they want to shave against the grain. And when you shave against the grain, you're going to bleed, and you're going to keep on bleeding, and plasters and tissues won't stop the bleeding. Waz 007, Mick, can get YouTube Robert Storms on your show? Well, I would assume he's successful. I assume that I would have to pay him. So that's a no, Waz. Kal-El, what are your box office predictions for Oppenheimer? Well, it's R-rated, but I think this film could easily cross at least 700 million. Right, all I'm saying is, if the Joker, without China, can reach $1 billion, and I know it's the Joker, it has a bigger reach, but this is Christopher Nolan. I think this can make 500 to 700, Cal, because it's a really highly anticipated movie. I do think it will still beat Barbie, but Barbie shills don't reckon that's so. Waz 007, Bollywood are doing Lot remake, aren't they all? Not for me. No, thank you. Not interested in remakes. I'm interested in originality. Unfortunately, I'm around in the wrong era of entertainment for originality, because we're not getting it anytime soon. But something like Oppenheimer is original. Something like Dune is quite original as well. I don't mind remakes if you do a good job with them. There's been lots of great remakes, but not anymore. We've got a movie about a woman who seduces a teenage boy for money, right? Now, if it was the other way around and it was an older guy with a teenage girl, these nutters will be crying harder than a bad CGI baby. Whereas I like DC Elseworld, Batman, Gaslight into the live action. Yes, that was a good one. Kal-El, Disha Patani is very beautiful Bollywood actress. Never heard of her. Send her to me. I'll sort her out. There's some very, very beautiful Indian women. Very beautiful. Very chic, very chic. But I'm not an expert on Bollywood, so I can't help you. Hello, I agree, Mick. I warned you all about the Flash movie. I warned you what was going to happen. It should have been shelved, but they didn't do it. They were greedy. They thought they were going to make money. Kal-El, what will happen to Aquaman? Well, according to rumours, it's having reshoots right now. I have no idea. I don't see a good future for that film whatsoever, Cal. Waz, Karina Kapoor is very pretty. Kal-El, what will happen? I've read that. Kal-El, yes, Waz. I can't tell you what's actually going to happen to it, to be honest with you. I don't think that film is going to end up very good because they've interfered with it. James Wan's comments a few weeks ago obvious. He's obviously not happy. Basically, as I keep on saying, our fan base is split. There's a lot of agendas. And it is very, very difficult. It muddies the waters when people have got agendas because there's not really ever a real opinion with an agenda. It's based on hatred. It's based on bias, and when it's based on that, it's very, very difficult. Waz 007, Kakar Karina Kapoor, make good Poison Ivy. I can't help you. I don't know who she is. Once you start talking about Bollywood, mate, you've lost me. But we were going to get some interesting stuff with The Rock. We really were. And yeah, they didn't like him. He came in, bull in a China shop. It would have changed if he was successful. Ignatius Santos, thoughts on why Gunn did not continue Snyderverse as Elseworlds. Clearly, there's an audience there, just like Todd Phillips' Joker and Matt Reeves' Batman. Look, there's loads of reasons for that. I mean, Snyder's gone. He's over at Netflix. Obviously, Snyder's prepared to continue it. They clearly don't want to go there. There's a lot of studio politics there, Ignatius, and I think that's the problem. And that's why there's going to be no DC Elseworlds Snyderverse, because there's a divide. There's probably people there who don't like him, who see him as a problem because he just wants to do his thing and he doesn't listen at all. He doesn't compromise one little bit, and that's a problem for a studio. I feel for the actor who played Atom in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He was supposed to have a solo film. He was good, yes. Was 007. Robert Storm said Aquaman and Blue Beetle should go Max. I mean, they could go to Max, but then there's going to be arguments about not supporting the theatrical system. But if they're going to flop anyway, but I do think, like, contractually, I think it's not that easy to do it in such a short period. There's no question. I mean, Blue Beetle's out in a couple of months. Film Goblin, DC is just a complete mess. Well, not complete Film Goblin, as I keep on saying. We've got Batman 2 to look forward to. We've got a Joker 2, and those movies are going to be very, very successful. So it's not all bad news. Scott Edwards, what's up? Good evening, Scotty. How are you? Welcome to Monday Night Live with me, Mick. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom for DC by any stretch of the imagination. Waz 007, any news the Batman 2? Well, I think by the end of the year, they'll start shooting. If there's no strikes, if the actors don't go on strike. Ignatius Santos, do you think Jeff the Snake Johns and Toby Emmerich, John Berg still pulling the strings? behind the scenes, because I remember Toby said he wants James Gunn's Superman, and now it's a reality. Well, I think Emmerich's definitely there. They gave him his own production company. He's still there somewhere. So Emmerich's still there. And look, you've got to look at it. You've got to look at the situation. The guy that Hamada appointed to direct the Flash movie is now making a Batman movie. The guy Emmerich brought in to do the Suicide Squad, etc., is now co-CEO of DC Studios. The young woman who was brought on, to be in the Flash movie as Supergirl is going to get a promotion. So you just add 2 and 2, and you see that it's like they're just going ahead with the same plans. And the decisions may not even be coming from James Gunn. Kal-El Zack was at Tudon, so was Gadot, that's right, and Cavill unveiling his new movie whilst WBD scramble like headless chicken. It's true, his sizzle reel looked absolutely fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing that film. Snyder will always do what Snyder does, and that's better than what these other people do, because they don't have a love of cinema. They don't have a love of art. And you can tell with Snyder that he loves art, he loves cinema, and he wants to give his audience an experience. And not enough creatives today, not enough people in this industry today want to give us an experience, and that's the problem. They think they're doing us a favor and we should be happy with whatever we get, but we're paying our money. Don't you understand? We're giving you money, you imbeciles. You don't get to dictate what I like and don't like. Kal-El, Rebel Moon does look amazing. It certainly does. That spaceship looks amazing. There's lots of stuff, actually. I was watching somebody's live and they were really getting into the details of it. Ignatius Santos, well said, my friend. Was 007 have seen Arnold Schwarzenegger net show? I haven't seen it yet, to be honest, or his documentary. But I will, when I get round to it, I'll definitely do that because I do have Netflix. So, yeah, I will try and get into that. Kal-El, Charlie Hunnam was supposed to go Green Arrow in the Snyderverse. Yes, that's the rumor. Yes, that's the rumor. I mean, we really don't know what they were going to do. There's so many things that we hear Zack was going to do, then he was going to do this, then he wasn't going to do that. So, yeah, it's a bit hard to gauge. I mean, he certainly made him look like Green Arrow in that film. And obviously, Zack's being a bit, he's being crafty there, isn't he? That's Zack. He knows how to wind up the fans. He knows how to, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he, old Zack? That's why we got the Snyder Cut, because Zack is, don't mess around with Zack. Some people you shouldn't mess around with in life. And basically, he gave WB their loins for breakfast. That's why they don't like him. I think it will be a cold day in hell until they allow him to restore the Snyderverse. Because I think it's beyond whether it makes money or not, or whether it makes sense or not. There's bad blood there, because there's still people from the old regime there. That's obvious. Ignatius Santos. If WB followed Snyder's vision, he would have finished the whole Snyderverse by now, and there would be a reboot anyway, like Matt Reeves, Batman, etc. What a missed opportunity. Yeah, they panicked. They didn't hold their nerve, and now they've made the whole situation worse for themselves. 6 back-to-back DCEU bombs, and it didn't have to be this way. But they lacked patience and they lacked vision. And that's the problem with them. Kal-El, in BVS Batfleck alludes to Green Arrow when he spoke of the other guy when talking then, Clark, about owning the Daily Planet. I didn't realise that was the case, to be honest with you, but I'll go with your knowledge. I did always wonder who he was talking about. I mean, they've got to give Green Arrow a movie sooner or later, haven't they? Got to do it, man. Got to do it. But Ignatius Santos is correct. If they just allowed him to finish up, there wouldn't be an issue now. They fucked up. They got rid of him, tried to recycle his work. And they've been trying the same things ever since they got rid of Snyder and making the same mistakes. Blue Beetle Animated, the good thing about Green Arrow is that the budget can be low. Yeah, it's just a guy shooting arrows, isn't it? So you could have that would cost around 100 million probably. Scott Edwards, how was the cut of The Flash you saw? Different in detail in the test screening? Well, first of all, I didn't see a complete movie, Scott, so that makes it very different. Obviously, the ending, because we did see an ending, was very, very different, and different people were in that ending. So they're the elements that were different. I wouldn't say it was dramatically different. Obviously, the ending was dramatically different. The only time I've seen a dramatically different test screening is Wonder Woman 84. That was very different. So I saw, when it was released, I saw a completely different film. I was actually shocked with the finished article because that's not what I saw. Scott Edwards, was Gal Gadot in the ending in the test screening? No, because that wasn't shot at that time. Kal-El, there are some good scenes in The Flash where Ezra shined. Yes, Ezra shined, no question. And I'm going to sound boring saying it again, but it's the dynamic that they created with their younger self. That was magical. As I say, if they hadn't have conducted themselves in that way, people would be celebrating that performance. But their performance, should I say, is the highlight of the film. I don't think there's anything else to show off about apart from their performance. Yes, Keaton was all right. Calais was only in it for 5 minutes. So, where are we? Ignatius Santos, was the test screening of Wonder Woman 84 better? Oh my God, much better, much better. Scott Edwards, what would you give The Flash out of 10? 6. Was 007 Timothy Dalton License to Kill? Very dark film and good film. Amazing film. And the great late Michael Kamen scored it. One of my favourite composers. Always loved Michael's music. The reason a lot of people didn't like License to Kill because they felt it was a bit Hollywoody. And it was pretty much set in America. But I think he's one of the best villains as well. We gave her a good honeymoon. Old Felix had a hot wife, didn't he? Nearly as hot as Mama's Geeky. Kal-El, Timothy Dalton is a legend. Was also in Doom Patrol, yeah, and was good. Of course, he's a DC man. Doom Patrol, Dr. Fate in Black Adam. Do you know what? I may watch Black Adam tonight and remind myself of its glory. Ignatius Santos, what are the chances we get the haircut now? Very little. You've got very little chance, I believe, and if I'm wrong, I hold my hands up, of course. As I keep on saying, I'm not Nostradamus, but I don't see it. And I do believe the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever has more chance of being released. Scott Edwards, so is Blue Beetle in Gunn's universe? It is, and this poses a big gamble for him now, because if that movie fails, it tells him that people are not interested in interconnected cookie cutter movies. What's he do then? It's actually more serious now because he said it's part of his universe that it succeeds. More important that succeeds than the Flash succeeding. Let's see what happens. Ignatius Santos, what happens when that flops as well? Ha ha ha. Was 007 Timothy Dalton's support comeback third Bond thing did not work out? Scott Edwards, he confirmed Lost Kingdom is not right. Who confirmed Lost Kingdom is not right? Don't know what you're talking about. Where did you get that from, Scott? I didn't say that. Apparently, there's reshoots for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I think. Scott Edwards, Gunn confirmed Lost Kingdom isn't part of his universe, right? No, he didn't. He's never confirmed that. He hasn't said either way. Was 007 Timothy Dalton a great choice for Alfred Pennyworth? Yes, that would be awesome. Who knows? Who knows? Jaco Robertson, hi. Good evening, Jaco. Scott Edwards, excitement level for Ashoka. Not overly hyped, my friend. 50-50, see what happens. J.K. Robertson, no more Bloodline team. Don't know what you're talking about. I think you may be on the wrong chat, mate. Scott Edwards, Lex Luthor as main villain for Superman and Lois Season 4 is perfect. He looks amazing. That is brilliant casting. I'm well excited to see that. Was 007, I hope Timothy Dalton play Alfred Pennyworth for Brave and the Bold. That would be awesome. We shall see. Scott Edwards, Pilo Ashbeck is main villain. Never heard of him. Was 007, what Twitter name, Mick? At Movies TV Mad. We have 10 viewers. It's Monday Night Live with Mick. We're talking DC. We're talking entertainment. Scott Edwards, he played Greyjoy in Game of Thrones. Ah, that is brilliant casting. I liked him. Kal-El Gunn cannot keep his mouth shut. He already said Machete is the Brave and the Bold. A Brave and the Bold Flash especially failed. Then he said Blue Beetle is part of the DCU. But I feel that film will do badly situation, and now he's said it's part of his universe. He's really put a lot more on it, because if that fails, that tells them people are not interested in cookie cutter interconnected universes, as I've already said. Scott Edwards, Pilo Aspeck will play the King of Necros. Interesting. Whoever the King of Necros is, sounds exciting. Not the most exciting time in entertainment, is it? Not with all these strikes going on. Was 007, who favourite Bond villain? Ooh, good question. Let me think. I think Sanchez from License to Kill. I think Drax from Moonraker is pretty awesome as well. I like Sean Bean. Waz 007, any news Bond? There is no news on James Bond whatsoever. We may not even hear who's playing the new Bond this year. They seem to be lost. I think James Bond's in a bit of a hot mess right now. But apparently they are planning a James Bond reality show. Won't that be exciting? If you've got something to say, say it. Don't be shy. John, Jaws was a great Bond villain. Yes, I did like Jaws. Where's 007? Please cast Henry Cavill as Bond. I don't see that happening. Would be fun. I'd be happy with that. So, Edwards, do you think Thrawn will be main villain in Ashoka? I think he will be in the background. We will see him. I'm not necessarily sure he's going to be the main villain. I think you'll have bots, working for him. Blue Beetle Animator, we're all trying to cope with the Flash. It's worse than a movie that when a movie looks promising but disappoints. Well, to be honest with you, it never looked promising to me, but then I think it looked solid. I thought it had good bits, but I never thought this was, something that was going to make a lot of money. I thought it may come in low, but not as low as it did. Kal-El, it's amazing how WB panicked and fired Snyder, yet they stuck with Hamada and his numerous flop. Warner Brothers Discovery are holding DC to ransom. Yes, well, it is interesting what's going on, considering what they did to The Rock and Cavill, and, they're promoting a director who directed an unfinished movie. It's very, very strange. Waz 007, I see Pierce Brosnan back as Bond. John, we probably won't hear any big DC news until Comic-Con. Yes, I would be surprised, but they're in a bit of trouble right now and they do need some positivity. That could also help Blue Beetle. So don't be surprised if we do get some news prior to Comic-Con. Let's see if they've got anything planned for Comic-Con. Will be interesting. Skydwards, are you invested in the overarching Mandoverse story? Not at the moment, not after season 3. I don't see what other story there is to tell within that overarching story anyway that's of any interest. Scott Edwards, the kingdom of Necrus is the lost kingdom. I see. Are you talking? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Aquaman? Or are you still talking about Ahsoka? Because I'm not going to give anything away about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, even if I know what you're talking about. John, I did not like the Boba Fett series. It's a shame. It started off half decent, but then, look, I always said Boba Fett is not a character that can lead a movie or a TV series. He's a cameo guy. He's a guest star. The way Lucas used him was perfect. Was 007 any new Star Wars? Nope. No, it's a very slow news day today. All we know is that Sasha Calle has spoken to DC Studios and Peter Safran about her future. Blue Beetle Animator Christopher Drake should compose Superman Legacy. What has he done? I'm not sure what he's done. Kal-El, Mick, did you like Prince music growing up? Not really. I didn't hate it, but he didn't really make a big impression on me. I was more of a Michael Jackson man. Scott Edwards, I mean, setting up the big conflict with Thrawn. All right, okay. Waz 007, Mick, see clip of Turkish Superman. Okay. Scott Edwards, no comment. Well, the problem is I don't know who King Necphorus is, my friend, to make a comment. Hello, Michael Jackson, the king. Yes, Michael was a genius. It's a shame what was done to him in the end with the false accusations. John, do you think Sasha Calais has a future in the DCU? Well, according to her, she's had talks with Peter Safran about her future. So that's all we know. She's been very straightforward, the kid. She says she wants a future. She wants to continue to play Supergirl. I thought 5 minutes of her was really good. I thought she was very compelling. I would like her to continue, but who knows? Blue Beetle animator Christopher Drake composed almost all DC original animation and games. I didn't know that. That would be a good pick. Let's see what Gunn does. He's got his usual composer, which he might use, but I'm not sure if I really want a good symphonic score for Superman. I don't want a mixtape. I don't want radio music. I want a symphonic score. Let's see if Gunn gets it. Kal-El Mick, did you see the last accuser of MJ recently got married? He had The Way You Make Me Feel as his wedding anthem. Oh my God. I don't know what to do with that. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, look, Michael Jackson was mentally ill. He clearly had a soft spot for children, not in a bad way. So when he was sleeping in a bed with children, he weren't doing anything. I don't believe that. I just think he was soft in the head and naive. I choose to believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. Waz007 did watch Man from U.N.C.L.E. What with Henry Cavill? I used to watch the original 60s version. John, thoughts on the Aladdin animated movie? One of the best, most beautiful, wholesome movies, and what Robin Williams did in that film was sensational. Scott Edwards, I mean, are you invested in the overarching Mandoverse story with the coming conflict with Thrawn? I'm intrigued. That's it. I'm not overly excited about any of it. To me, my excitement for Star Wars died after I saw, Revenge of the Sith, which was amazing. Waz007, I both like Man from U.N.C.L.E. Yeah, and me and my dad used to watch the original 60s one together. And the original Fugitive black and white TV series with David Jensen or Jansen. And the One-Armed Man. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. Waz007, I agree with you, Mick, about MJ. I mean, I could be wrong, but the man seemed mentally ill. The man needed help. Nobody helped him. They were prescribing drugs for him because he was demanding them, because they were suing him left, right, and centre. That's why he died. He was overworking to pay off all these bastards, and they killed him. Their false accusations killed him. It's an absolute tragedy. And his family didn't help him. They left him there to suffer. Oh, they'll talk about him now. Now he's dead. Too little, too late. You've got blood on your hands. Blue Beetle animator, I'm intrigued to know what else you're going to say now. Blue Beetle, do you look Solomon Grundy? Do I like Solomon Grundy, who doesn't like Mondays? I don't know much about the character. I liked him in Gotham. But I don't really know about the character. I'd be lying if I said, yeah, I like him, when I don't really know much about him. It is 11 p.m. here in Cyprus right now. And all is well. Well, unless you work for Warner Brothers, unless you're a Warner Brothers investor. Was 007 Fugitive was a great film. Yeah, Harrison Ford nailed it. Scott Edwards, did you like Cad Bane? You have to remind me who's Cad Bane. I know you're talking about Star Wars, but I can't remember what you're talking about. Is that from Solo? Blue Beetle animator, Boba Fett villain. Oh, don't know. I don't know. I can't remember who that is. I'm sure the YouTuber Boba would know. Hello, Blue Beetle Animator. What software do you use? Blue Beetle Animator. Did they reveal who killed Barry's mom? Not in the film, no. Not in the film, no. Machete's talking about it being revealed in the sequel, but he did confirm it's Reverse Flash. So it's insane how you don't have the Rogues Gallery there. You don't have Reverse Flash. You just think, what actually was the point? Scott Edwards, he was the villain in Boba Fett. I can barely remember him. Kal-El, Reverse Flash lol, but it's not in the movie. It's insane. Blue Beetle Animator. For animators, Kal-El. For animations, should I say. Where's 007? Bollywood remake Harrison Ford Fugitive is called Criminal Back, 1995. Scott Edwards, blue guy with red eyes. Kind of familiar. I'm very vague though. Kal-El, Barry didn't fix the timeline because he put the can of tomatoes on the shelf. Kal-El on top. Maybe that's the reason then. That's why he's going to be trapped in Clooney's universe forever. We're never going to see him again. It's a dead end. Purposely done by Gunn. Bye-bye, Ezra Miller. Could have been around for much longer. All that hype for all those years for the Flash movie, and it flopped. Would you Adam and Eve it? Right, a few more messages, then we're going to call it a day. Enjoyed the chat as usual. I'll be back tomorrow as usual with the DC Universe Daily, probably about the same time as I did it today. And as usual, I'll be back in the evenings. Kal-El, do you think Machete will release his 4-hour cut? Yes. I'm pretty convinced he will. John, and the Flash when fought so many directors. Yes, so many directors and better directors, by the way. Just remember that. Better directors. Scott Edwards, did you at least like the fight and action sequences in Mando Season 3? They were solid. Was 007 The Flash? So many directors left. DC Superfan, yo Mick. Hello, DC Superfan. Kal-El, too many cooks spoil the broth. That's absolutely right. And that's Warner Brothers' problem. DC Superfan, back again. Good to see you back. Gavin Troy, are you a fan of the Shaft movies? I'd like to say yes, but I've never seen them. Blue Beetle Animator. I'm inexperienced with 3D animation. Oh, right, that's not for me, so I won't read it. Was 007 Scarface was remake of old film Scarface? Didn't know that. Say hello to my little friend. You think you can come in here? You think? You know who I am? I'm Mick. You fucking my wife? What do you mean am I fucking your wife? You fucking my wife? Are you fucking my wife? Why are you asking me if I'm fucking your wife? I asked you a question. Are you fucking my wife? Gavin Troyer, are you excited for Craven? Listen, it's something I know nothing about. I'm not a big Marvel fan. Not that I hate them. Saw the trailer, looks solid. I'll give it a check out. Either when it's released for cinemas or I'll wait until it's ready for home release. It's not something I'm going, oh my God, it's giving me a boner. Why 007? Rumour that Scarface get a remake. I think they were doing it. Al Pacino, they don't make them like that anymore. Oh, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. I love Joe Pesci and De Niro in Raging Bull. Wow, it's great acting, Mick. Waz 007. Mick needs to be in Hollywood. I love that Raging Bull line, though. You fucking my wife? What do you mean am I fucking your wife? Are you fucking my wife? I love it because it's a crazy conversation. This should be in a museum. So should you. Waz 007. Mick, do you like Jean-Claude Van Damme? I didn't like him as much as Sly Stallone and Schwarzenegger, but I did like him. I did like the one with the twins. There's a few of them I liked, but he was always like the kind of the poorer brother, if you like. Blue Beetle Animator, can we do a watch party someday? Yes, obviously the way my laptop's faced, we can't watch it. You can watch it at home and I can watch it here, but somehow I'd have to move my laptop so we can't see what I'm watching. But yeah, we can choose what to watch and we can talk about it. That would be really cool. I'd be very interested in that. Kal-El, Time Cop is a guilty pleasure. Time Cop's probably the best one he did. Kal-El, that would be good. A watch along would be fun. I agree. Waz 007. I like Van Damme film Double Impact. That's the one with the twins. That's the only Van Damme film I ever saw in the cinema. Ride along, Sally. Ride, Sally, ride. The Commitments. I saw that in Lakeside Cinema. We used to go every Saturday night to Lakeside and watch a film. I saw Curly Sue in one of the biggest screens, and I loved that film. John Hughes was a genius. Gavin Troyer, have you played Hogwarts Legacy? No, I don't. Look, I'm not really a gamer. I play a bit of FIFA now and again and a bit of Mario. So I know there was a lot of controversy over that because of Joe Rowling, but yeah, I mean, if I was into games, I would have played it because I do like Harry Potter, but yeah, I don't play games. Expecto Patronum! Why is 007? I like double role films. Well, there's my favourite one, of course, is Dead Ringers. Then there's The Double with Jesse Eisenberg. Blue Beetle Animator, favourite Marvel hero. Well, as a kid, it was always Spider-Man. And not because I read comics, it was because I liked the Amazing Spider-Man television series and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the animated series. My favourite Spider-Man animated series. It was basic, but I loved it. It was so great. It was on children's TV every time once a week I came home from school. We all loved Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Firestar, Iceman. Where's 007? Where's 007? Mick, what made move to Cyprus? My parents were living here. Of course, my parents are not alive anymore, but they were living here and they were both disabled and they needed someone to live with them. I got fed up of England, so I came here and I stayed here. Living in Cyprus is definitely better than living in the UK. Gavin Troy, can't believe Marvel are remaking Blade. The actor they got is very good, but it's not going to be the original with Wesley Snipes. Well, listen, I wouldn't trust Marvel to do a Blade movie. And if you know anything about the situation, that actor's not happy with them at all. They've had to do rewrites. He's brought in his own director. It's been an absolute mess. I never trusted them to do a good Blade. Blue Beetle Animator, fun fact, Blue Beetle and Spider-Man were created by the same guy. I didn't know that. How is that possible? Thanks, Mick. Where's 007? Kal-El, is your bloodline from Cyprus? Yes, both my parents were Greek Cypriot. I was born in England. So basically, I think like an Englishman, but my blood, yes, is Greek Cypriot. But I was born and raised, I went to school in the UK. I worked in the UK. And, you know, I came to Cyprus 2 or 3 times to live. Then I went back to the UK. And the longest I've been here is since 2013. It's now 2023. So I've been here for 10 years. McRib Prime, evening Mick. McRib, what are you saying? What do you think of what did you enjoy watching Transformers? I haven't been getting a good feedback from that movie. Apparently it's very generic. Rib Prime, I did, yeah, it's basic, but it's about toys, lol. Yeah, I've been told it's basic, yeah. I mean, they're all basic anyway. I mean, what can you do with a movie about Transformers? It's, you know, they're just going to kill each other. They're going to, you know, it's going to be the same thing. What can you do with it? That's the problem. But Rib Prime, but yeah, I loved it. That's the main thing. It's like the Mario movie. Everyone was saying, oh, well, it was very basic. Well, have you ever played a Mario game? I mean, I thought it was amazing. They even made a story out of it. Was 007 did like Magnum PI show? I did. But Rib Prime, so the Flash set to lose $500 million. Lol. I've been smiling all day. It's a disaster beyond the expectations. Like, I never thought this movie. Look, people were asking me about box offices pre-release, and I said, listen, I don't know because DC is so unpredictable. It could be amazing or it could be bad, and it ended up being bad. Gavin Troy, will you seeing Indy 5? People say it's not that bad. Well, I mean, when I go on YouTube, people are slaughtering it, but I have no intention, Gavin, of watching that movie because I know it's made by extremists. They're trying to make a fool out of a straight, another straight white male, and they're trying to, make the female the strongest and the new hero. So I know what their agenda is. I'm not interested. I don't mind the Crystal Skull personally, but the first 3 indie movies were amazing. I've got all the indie movies. I really have no interest in watching this movie and making evil Disney money. Kal-El, McRib Prime, Reap What You Sow, WBD, Gun Reap, Waz 007, Mick, did see new Magnum PI show? No. McRib Prime, Indy 5, no. More savings. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. I'm not making those bastards money. They're obsessed with Phoebe Waller-Fucking-Bridge. Waz 007, The Flash, not too well in the UK. The Flash isn't doing well anywhere, mate. UK, NK, BK is not doing well anywhere. I can't even tell you a territory where sometimes there's a few territories where they do well. Tom Selleck near cast as Indy. Yes, Tom Selleck was cast as Indiana Jones, but then his scheduling for Magnum got in the way. McRib Prime, The Flash did, what's that, a quarter of the UK expectations, lol. Yes, it hasn't done well anywhere. As I say, normally, even when a film's a flop, there's territories where they do well. I can't think of one territory where it's done well. It's been a disaster. Told you, cookie cutter movies. People are not interested. They want auteurs to make these DC movies. Standalone trilogies, standalone quadrilogies, whatever, but not cookie cutter movies. And that's the message to James Gunn and Safran and Zaslav. We don't want this shit. But they're going to insist in doing it because they think there's money there. And there's not. I think what they're going to find out very quickly, there's no kind of spin-off money for these films anymore. Like in terms of merch, in terms of, like doing a lot of streaming. People just want to see unique takes on these characters. McRib Prime. So WBD stock dropped by 3% on Friday. Who's going higher or lower when the market opens in the US tomorrow, lol? Could go lower. The worse the box office and the drop-offs for The Flash go. I mean, their only hope now is the June sequel, Barbie. I don't know what else they've got coming out this year. But, I mean, I just think it's a nightmare for them. Because even if Blue Beetle was to do okay, it's not going to make $1 billion. So whatever it makes is nothing. It's a chink in the doorway. What they could make good money from is June sequel, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Wonka, Barbie, those type of films. Gavin Troy, they have a really Willy Wonka prequel coming out, yeah. And I mean, look, a film like that, I mean, maybe it could make 500 million. I mean, I can't see it making $1 billion. And I think June may do 700, 750, which is good. Barbie, again, 500, 600 million, which is all right. But you just wonder what a waste of time at the end of the day. McRib Prime, £12 a share, lol. The share holders must be screaming. Waz 007, what happened with all film flops? They flopped. There's a lot of flops, and it's not just WB. It's the other studios as well. That's the problem. McRib is definitely enjoying this disaster for WB. I'm trying to be, balanced and trying to be professional about it so I don't come across mean. McRib Prime, narcissistic, nepotistic Gunn, largely to blame outside of Ezra, the Stain Miller. If he cast Nick Holt as Sidman when he's 34 and Cavill is 40, he had better batten down. Yes, as I say, I mean, that is a good point, and it shows his hypocrisy. It'll be interesting if he casts Holt. I still think Holt's going to play Luther if he's going to play anyone. But Red Prime, mate, I'm loving it. I know you are. You're having a really good time with it. Not that I blame you. Gavin Troy, can't low profit flops be good? The first Spider-Man film didn't do good, but found a strong audience on Netflix. What first Spider-Man? You mean the Tom Holland one? Yeah, but what you got to understand, Gavin, is they make these films to make money in the movie theaters. So it doesn't matter that it found an audience, because every time someone watches something on Netflix, they don't pay 5 or 6.50 and buy popcorn. You know, it's whatever Netflix paid to show it. But it doesn't matter that it finds an audience ultimately. There's no money in finding an audience on streaming. That's why streaming's on its knees. Like, stuff being watched on streaming isn't the same as stuff, you know, being watched in a movie theater. There's not, you know, there's more profitability. So they make a movie, so it makes lots of money in the movie theater, then physical, digital, then streaming. They want money, you know. So basically the streamers pay to stream things. So it's not per view, is it? But Red Prime, by the way, you're right. A flop, a bad movie, a flop, a disaster can still be a good movie. I mean, Last Action Hero starring Arnie, very good film. So yeah, I agree with you there. And it's no skin off our nose whether a film succeeds or not. McRib Prime Champagne. McRib Prime, Superman Legacy needs to have a budget of 150 million. Anything more that they will be facing even more financial trouble. Waz 007, do you think Disney and WB, other studios, might team up, make film or TV show? There may be a big merger one day because they're in such trouble that, I mean, I wouldn't welcome a Disney and Warner Brothers, merger, but they're just as bad as each other. But a lot of people will be excited about the potential of the crossovers. Obviously, the Marvel DC crossovers. But Rib Prime, the Convent new Guy Ritchie movie, epic film, financial disaster, not as bad as The Flash. And don't forget, that film doesn't have to make the money The Flash did, and it wouldn't have cost the money The Flash did as well. You see, what people have got to remember, what this generation of movie fans have got to understand, not all movies are made for a profit. Some movies are just made for the art of it. That's what A24 do. As long as they get their money back, they don't care. It's not all about $1 billion and high Rotten Tomato scores and, you know, grade A plus and B plus in the cinema. You know, all this dick measuring going on around the fandoms now is a bit boring to me. At the end of the day, make a good movie. I couldn't give a shit how much it makes. Waz 007, Last Action Hero and Popeye and Master of the Universe, great film. Oh, I love Masters of the Universe. Waz 007, I wish UK made more films. Yeah, it's not a big film industry. There's not a lot of money there, that's why. I think there's a good independent market there. Waz 007, Mick, have C East is East. No, I haven't, unfortunately, my friend. McRib Prime, we develop loads of movies, Pinewood Studios, for example, good tax break for Hollywood. Yeah, I wasn't really referring to Hollywood movies made in England. I mean, like English movies made in England. Waz 007, we made more films in England. Like the old carry-ons. Oh, matron. Oh, I say. That's why Superman the movie moved from Italy to Pinewood, because it was cheaper. And Superman Returns was, of course, filmed in Australia at the Fox Studio Australia. Right, everyone, we're going to wrap it up. It's nearly 11:30 at night here in Cyprus. It's time for my beddy buys. As you can see, I need beauty sleep. I mean, it's very difficult to maintain this, but it's been brilliant. This has been Monday Night Live here with me, Mick, here on Movies TV Mad. As I said, I'm Mick, your host of the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wife, please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. Hope to see you tomorrow morning around or afternoon, lunchtime, late lunch, about 1 p.m. for Tuesday's edition of the DC Universe Daily. And of course, I will be back tomorrow evening and every evening live with Mick so we can have our little chilled discussions. Mick Rib Prime, night all. See you later, Mick. Thank you, Mick Rib Prime, for coming in. Great to hear that you enjoyed the Transformers movie. Waz 007, England with great actors like Henry Cavill, Tom Holland, and other. Yes, of course. Us actors in the UK are trained royally at theatre companies, and a bit different in America. Like, I mean, obviously there's drama schools and everything, but I just think the level of kind of the instructions and the way we're taught is better in England. And I always find that British actors are a bit more stoic. That's just my experience. Anyway, until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. Thank you for coming in. See you again tomorrow. It's been fun. Remember, I'm over on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Waz 007, thanks. You're very welcome. Salutations. I shall see you tomorrow. You can bring your girlfriends and your wives out now. I won't be here to make them get all distracted and fall out of love with you. See you later. Bye-bye. Blue Beetle Animator. Goodbye. Thank you, Blue Beetle Animator. Great talking to you. Blue Beetle Animator, Batman and Robin, Bane is underrated. Well, listen, it isn't a great Bane, but he's a fun Bane. I'll give you that. I didn't hate him. But yeah, I mean, I think we'll say the one in The Dark Knight Rises is slightly better. But yeah, the Bane with Uma Thurman, yeah, he was interesting. Let's just put it that way. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.